A very good evening everyone. Welcome to IAS with Arihant. Students, as you know, every day at 9 p.m. we are discussing about the Indian polity. And the today's session, students, we are going to discuss a very unique chapter as well as very important chapter for your state PSC as well as for the UPSC examination. That is fundamental right. But before starting the chapter, students, I tell you one thing. Basically, this series is named as Prelims Possible. And the series is basically based on this book that is specially published by Arihant, and it is going to help you a lot in your preparation, okay, as well as for your successful journey. Okay, so those who are preparing for state PSC examination, those who are preparing for UPSC examination, you guys can share this session with them also. Along with that, students, those who are very new to this channel, please subscribe the channel, press the bell icon, share this video with your friends also. As I told you, this basically series is based on a book that is Prelims Possible. And what you find, students, there are lots of confusion among the students how to prepare. Okay, so this answer is the Prelims Possible series. How? Because, students, this book is divided into chapters, and that chapter is divided into topics, and there will be a topical mind map also with each and every topic. Along with that, there is a 100% error-free explanation, and what you find, the students, is knowledge plus for the typical question. Okay, and students, there's some other feature also, like if I am just going to share. In the last of this book, students will get the 3500 plus PYQ bullets. So this is in one-liner format. So it is also going to help you a lot. Okay, so let's begin the session without wasting time. As you know, students, time is very precious for everyone. So first I will give a quick outline for this fundamental right. As I told you, this is the chapter number 8, and here today we are going to discuss about the fundamental right. I will discuss about the mind map, and then we will start with the MCQs. Okay, so student, before starting the fundamental right, I like to mention one very important thing, students. See, fundamental right are those right, okay, which is required to each and every citizen, okay, for the better development, for the positive development. So in the simple sense, we can say fundamental required for the physical, mental and spiritual development of any individual. Okay, so we are not going to discriminate male, female. We are not going to discriminate on the basis of caste. It is available to everyone. Okay, why? Because it is required for the physical, mental and spiritual development. For the first time, fundamental right concept was developed in Britain. Okay, so in 1215 AD, students, for the first time there was a king named as King John. Okay, so for the first time, King John provided fundamental right to their citizens in 1215, and it was called as, students, Magna Carta. Okay, so in 1215 AD, for the first time, Magna Carta of fundamental right given to British citizens, British farmers. And what you find, students, later when USA, okay, when for the first time US introduced constitution, introduced a written constitution, first written constitution of the world, they introduced Bill of Rights. Okay, so it says that we derive the fundamental right, means we derive this concept of fundamental right from USA, and so it is also very true. And students, before the implementation of our Indian Constitution, we are ruled by Britishers. So during the time of British rule also, Indian National Congress and other leaders also demanded for the fundamental right as well as constitutional right in India. Okay, so there was a resolution was also passed in 1931 Karachi session, when Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel sir was the president of Indian National Congress. At that time it was demanded, and basically a resolution was passed. Okay, another very important thing is, students, if we talk about in the sense of our constitution has 22 parts. Along with that, students, there is approximately 395 articles in old constitution. Now, as you know, students, our constitution is now updated, and we have now 25 parts and approximately 478 articles, students. But it is very important to understand, parts is not increased, but yes, sub part is added, and sub articles are added. So the number rises, students. Now what you find here, in our Indian Constitution there is a part that is called as part number 3, and it contains article 12 to 35. It is about the fundamental right. Okay, as I told you कि we inspired from USA, because USA Constitution included Bill of Rights for the first time in written format. And students, okay, basically fundamental right is available to each and everyone. Okay, fundamental right is available to each and everyone without any discrimination. Means it is available to everyone, students, without any discrimination. Okay, so there will be some discrimination because as it is not absolute, it is qualified. So there will be some limitation. I will tell you about that also. As well as, students, as I told you, for the first time in 1580, in Britain it was provided as Magna Carta. So sometime our Indian Constitution also is mentioning it is as a Magna Carta of Indian Constitution, students. I hope you all getting it. Anybody have any doubt, any confusion, you guys can share and discuss with me. Okay, otherwise we are moving further. What are the unique feature of our Indian Constitution? Fundamental right. What you see, students, some fundamental rights are only available for citizens and other available for foreigner as well. What you find, students, we have from article 12 to 35. There are few articles or few concept is only available to Indian, like I'm just writing here article 15, article 16, article 19, article 29 and article 30. These all 5 only available to Indian. Okay, means other are available to Indian as well as foreigner also, but these rights are exclusively available to Indian students. Okay, so this is also very important, and it is a direct question, which of the following is not available to Indian. Okay, which of the following is available to, which of the following is not available to foreigners. So here we added here. So the fundamental right that is only available to citizens, that is article 15, 16, 19, 29 and 30. I will discuss about each and every one, means every point of the same. And students, Parliament can amend it. As I told you, this is not absolute, it is qualified. In some circumstances it can be suspended for first time students. Okay, so it can be suspended for some time, and then students, Parliament can amend these rights by constitutional amendment. So there is an article 368 of Indian Constitution that giving power to Parliament. They can modify any part of Indian Constitution, but they can't break the basic structure of Indian Constitution, students. As well as these are guaranteed and protected by Supreme Court. So there is a fundamental right named as article 32 of Indian Constitution. It is a fundamental right that is called as constitutional remedies. It is saying that if someone, let's suppose you have fundamental rights, so the protection of fundamental right is also a fundamental right. So under article 32 there is a provision for constitutional remedies. If someone taking away your fundamental right, in that case Supreme Court can basically protect your fundamental right by issuing some writs. Okay, there are some conditions, students, when fundamental right can be suspended, like national emergency, but there are only 2 articles, article 20 and 21, they never be suspended. Otherwise other article can be suspended, students. You all getting it? Now there are some classification. As we'll find, we have 6 fundamental right, but when the Constitution was implemented, at that time there was 7 fundamental right. But by an amendment named as 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978, student, at that time the government was led by Morarji Desai. Okay, and Morarji Desai was the Prime Minister at that time. And students, there was an article 31, and under article 31, students, there was a right to property. It was initially fundamental right, but by this amendment this article was shifted to article 300 clause A and under part number 12 of Indian Constitution, and here only this right to property became legal right. Initially it was fundamental right, later it became legal right, means fundamental right cannot be suspended. They cannot be suspended in normal condition. So let's suppose government want to build some road or something and your property is here, so government cannot acquire that. So for that purpose and for other purpose also, it is shifted to the basically this part number 12, article 300A, right to property, students. I hope you all getting it. Now students, as I told you, fundamental right is available to both citizen as well as foreigner also, but there are few articles which is only available to citizens. Okay, so now we have how many rights? 6 rights. Okay, I'm going to speak one by one, and after that we'll start with article and then we'll do the MCQs. So right to property, we'll start with the basically right to equality, then right to freedom, okay, then right against exploitation, freedom of religion, cultural and educational right, and then constitutional remedies. So basically these all are the fundamental right, and one is removed. Okay everyone, so I'm not going to read this and you have to read the same, and as I already told you, these all is based on the book that is basically published by Arihant especially, and you must go with the same prelims possible series, students. Okay, now we will start with the first question. Just read the question and try to give the right answer for the same, students. Okay, so I'm just reading it. Which of the following statement is correct? Okay, rights are claim of the state against citizen. Okay, now rights are privilege which are incorporated in the constitution of state. Right are claims of the citizens against the state, students, and D says that right are privilege for few citizens. Now students, as I told you, fundamental right cannot be suspended in normal condition. Okay, along with that, students, it cannot be taken away by state. So basically fundamental right is a very unique concept. It is basically creating restriction over state. State cannot do any activity. If any activity of a state that is claiming the fundamental right of any individual, then that law or that claim is going to be nullified, and it is mentioned under Article 13 of Indian Constitution about it is mentioning about the judicial review. So if someone going to take away your fundamental right, okay, so then you can move to the Supreme Court by Article 32, and Supreme Court can give judgment in the protection of your fundamental right. It means that basically fundamental right, very importantly, fundamental right creating limitation over whom? Limitation over state activity. Okay, so fundamental right creating limitation over the state activity, students. I hope you all getting it. Now rights are claim of citizen against the state, means state can't do any activity that going to take away your fundamental right, students. I hope you all getting it. Anybody have any doubt? Okay, if you feel any doubt, any difficulties, just tell me. Okay, so the statement C is very correct. Now I'm going to give you explanation also, and just see it. The statement C is correct as right are claimed by citizen against the state activity. The state cannot claim them against the citizen because it take away the right of individual and restrain them. Okay, right are universal as they are assured to everyone without any discrimination. Those right defined in Part 3 of Indian Constitution and guaranteed by the Constitution to all persons without any discrimination. So basically fundamental right creating restriction over the state activity or government activity. Okay, so this is also very important. Just try to remember for the same, students. I hope you all getting it. Okay, any doubt? Okay everyone, so now we're moving towards the next question, and if you feel doubt, just tell me. Okay, so we have second question, that by Indians. So there is how many fundamental right which is available to Indians. So if you see students, as I told you initially, we have 7 fundamental right, but by an amendment, that is 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978. Okay, one fundamental right, that is a right to property. It was under Article 31. It is removed, and now only we have 6 fundamental rights. So if we go through the option, what we find, students, statement D, option D is going to be right for the same. Now just see the explanation. So we have 6 type of fundamental right, and it is enjoyed by the Indians. And see students, these are a right to equality, a right to freedom, a right against exploitation, a right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational right. Along with that, students, we have constitutional remedies also. So these all are the 6 fundamental right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we have 6 fundamental right, and this is available to Indians. Okay, originally, as I told you already, we have 7 fundamental right, but by the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978, right to property converted as legal right under Article 300A, Part 12 of the Indian Constitution, students. And Constitution, under Constitution Part 3, from Article 12 to 35 is considered, means it is included as a fundamental right, students. Now we have the third question, and it was in Manipur PSC. Students, fundamental right are justifiable, non-justifiable, it is flexible, or it is rigid. So fundamental right, student, there are a few concepts, fundamental right, DPSP. Okay, so both are considered as a corner stone of Indian Constitution. Okay, so fundamental right and directive principle of state policy, both is considered the cornerstone of Indian Constitution. And what you find, students, this fundamental right is justiciable, and DPSP is non-justifiable. Okay, it means that if your fundamental right is going to take away by the state, in that case you can move to court for the protection of your fundamental right. So you can go for the court, and as I already told you, students, Supreme Court you can go, and there's an article number 32. So by using Article 32, Supreme Court can issue writs. Okay, how many type of writs? 5 type of writs. And students, even High Court also can issue writs under Article 226 of Indian Constitution. Okay, so this is also very important, you just try to remember. So 5 type of writs issued by Supreme Court in the protection of fundamental right under Article 32, and High Court also can issue writs under Article 226, but the writs of High Court is broader. So it is means they can use Article 226 for the other provision also. So what you find, fundamental right is justifiable. If someone means state is going to take away your fundamental right, then you can directly move to the Supreme Court, students. So as I already told you, as well as explanation is also there, fundamental rights are justifiable, which means that they can be enforced, protected through legal remedies. Anyone can go to Supreme Court if they believe their fundamental rights have been violated. Fundamental rights are the basic right of people contained under Part 3 of Indian Constitution, and it is guaranteed civil liberties such that all Indian can lead their life in peace and harmony as a citizen of India students. So this is also very important, and just try to remember for the same students. Now we have the fourth question. The rights are called as fundamental right because. The rights are called as fundamental right because, okay, it is written in the constitution, it is a democratic, it is republic welfare, it is essential for the personality development, and parliament cannot make law against it. So now you have to choose it very carefully, students. Okay, you have to choose it very carefully. Fundamental right, as it is this much fundamental, it is written in the constitution. You say yes, sir. Statement 1 is correct. It is democratic, it is for public welfare. For the public welfare, there is a DPSP concept. It is essential for the personality development. Okay, and this personality development include physical development, mental development, spiritual development. Along with that, students, this is this much important, and so parliament cannot make any law against it, students. It means that statement 1, statement 4 and statement 5 is correct. Okay, so what you find now, if you see basically this answer number 1, 4, 5 included under option C, so it is going to be right for the same. We just have explanation also, so I am just sharing with you. Rights are called fundamental right because they are written in the constitution and were given a specific importance in the constitution by providing a special protection within the constitution. These rights are essential for the development of individual personality as it provides opportunity for the equal development. Parliament has power to amend the constitution but cannot amend the basic structure of Indian constitution. The successive judgment of Supreme Court clearly identified fundamental rights are basic part of Indian constitution, students. Article 13 of Indian constitution provide that any law which violates the fundamental right can be made null and void by Supreme Court of India, students. So this is another very important fact and data that you need to remember for the examination, students. Getting it? Okay, now we're moving towards the next question. This was in UPPSC lower as well as West Bengal CSE students in 2022 pre-examination. Under the Indian constitution, who is the guardian of fundamental right? Means who will protect your fundamental right? It is parliament, it is president, it is Supreme Court, or it is cabinet. So as I already told you, students, if your fundamental right is going to be taken away, in that case you can move to Supreme Court by Article 32. Okay, so under Article 32 you can move to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court will protect your fundamental right by issuing writs. So how many type of writs they can issue? 5 type of writs they are issuing for the protection of fundamental right. So student, Supreme Court is considered as the guardian of fundamental right as well as guardian and custodian of our constitution also. Okay, so this is another important fact and data that you must remember. If you see explanation, under the Indian constitution, the Supreme Court is the guardian of fundamental right. These are basic human rights guaranteed and protected by the constitution. They are justifiable in nature, thus defended and guaranteed by Supreme Court. Aggrieved person can directly move to Supreme Court under Article 32 if any type of violation in these rights, students. Okay, now I hope you all able to connect it. Now just see the next question. Which of the following is enforceable in court of law? Enforceable means if it is going to take away, if it is going to be void, if it is going to be nullified, or it is going to be discriminated, then you can move to Supreme Court, High Court, and they are going to protect these things. Okay, so or it is, if it is not followed by state, then court can impose to state, yes, you have to follow this. Okay, so it is fundamental duties, it is fundamental right, it is directive principle of state policy, or preamble. We already discussed about the chapter preamble. So preamble is non-enforceable. Okay, directive principle is also non-enforceable. It is depend on the resources. Fundamental right, students, it is justifiable and it is enforceable in court of law. So fundamental right is the same for basically is right for the same question, students. And now just see the explanation. Fundamental rights are enforceable in court of law. These rights are justifiable and allow person to move the court for their enforcement. If and when they are violated, any aggrieved person can directly go to Supreme Court in case of violation of the fundamental rights, students. I hope you all getting it. Now see the next thing. Okay. Seventh question. In India, who is the competent to amend fundamental right of citizen? And this was in UPPSC pre 2016. It is Lok Sabha, it is Rajya Sabha, it is Parliament, it is Supreme Court. Student, Article 368 of Indian Constitution, under part number 20 of Indian Constitution, it is mentioning about, students, Parliament has right to modify Constitution. Parliament can modify any part of Indian Constitution, but can't break basic structure. So fundamental right can be modified by Parliament, but they cannot break the basic structure of Indian Constitution, students. So for 7th question, answer C is going to be right for the same. I hope you all able to understand it. Do you feel any problem? So as I already told you, Article 368 of Indian Constitution empower the Parliament to amend the Constitution of India, any part. Okay. And Parliament is competent to competent authority to amend the fundamental right of citizen of India. However, this amendment should done in a way that does not violate the basic structure of the Constitution. In the case of Keshavanand Bharti case 1973, Supreme Court accepted that constitutional validity of amendment of fundamental right, okay, subjected to the doctrine of basic structure of Constitution. It means the fundamental right can amended the Parliament can amend the fundamental right but cannot amend its basic structure, students. I hope you all are able to understand, students. So if you feel doubt, just tell me. Otherwise, we are moving towards the next question. This is a question that is based on some statement or comment. So who said that following words about the fundamental right? A fundamental right should be looked upon not from the point of view of any particular difficulty of that moment, but something that you want to make permanent in this Constitution, students. So who said this word? What you find, it was basically Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru sir who made this statement. Okay, and this is right for the same. Now just move towards the 9th question. Which of the following institution or authority is not included in the concept of state under the Article 12 of Indian Constitution? Now it is time to understand Article 12 of Indian Constitution. So under Constitution, they said that definition of state. So basically states are those who will make rules and regulation. They implement regulation, but they must take care your fundamental right must not be violated. Okay, so basically state are included, that is Parliament. Okay, along with that, students, Government of India, they cannot make any law, they cannot implement any law that take away your fundamental right. Along with that, state legislature as their law-making body, as well as government of state, they cannot make any law, they cannot implement any law that take away the fundamental right of any individual. Along with that, students, there is a local government and local authority also not create any law, and they are also not implement any law that take away the fundamental right of any individual. Along with that, state authorities like ONGC, ISRO, these LIC, these all will be the part of the state. So Legislative Assembly, Legislative Council, Jila Parishad, these all are the part of the state, but High Court is not part of the state. Okay, so option C is going to be right answer for the same. High Court is not included in the concept of state under Article 12 of the Indian Constitution. As per Article 12 in Part 3 of Indian Constitution, state includes the government and the Parliament of India, and the government and the legislature of each of the state. It also includes all local and other authorities within the territory of India and under the control of Government of India. All authorities like like statutory or non-statutory authorities like LIC, ONGC, SAIL, GAIL, BAIL, these will be the part of the state students. Now see the next question. Okay, so the main objective of Article 13 of Indian Constitution is to secure the paramountcy of Constitution regarding, okay, it is directive principle of state policy, fundamental right, fundamental duties, or all the above. Article 13 is about what? Article 13 is basically mentioning about the judicial review. So Article 13 is mentioning about the judicial review, students, and as from Article 12 to 35 is about the fundamental right. So this is part, means the statement B or option B is going to write for the same. Okay, so the main objective of Article 13 of Indian Constitution is to secure the paramountcy of Constitution regarding the fundamental right. Article 13 says that states shall not make any law which take away the or abridges the rights of individual that is conferred under the Constitution Part 3, and they cannot make any laws against it, and if they are creating it, it is going to be void. So this is basically, this is conferred power to Supreme Court or the courts about the judicial review. Now we are going to see the 11th question. Now, which of the following rights are not available to all person in India? All person. Student, as you know, basically all person include foreigners as well as Indian both, but here they want to say which is only available to Indian, not to foreigners. Equality before law and equal protection of law under Article 14 available to all. Right against discrimination based on the caste, sex, religion, place and creed of birth. So Article 15 is only available to Indian. Freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India, it is under Article 19. Students, it is only available to Indians. And then fourth, we have right to contest election. Okay, so only who can do it? So it is only Indian citizen who can participate in the election. So if you see, one is available to all, but basically this okay, these remaining three statement is only available to Indians. Okay, so option D is going to write for the same. Now I'm just going to give explanation also. Right against discrimination, freedom to move freely throughout the territory, and right to contest election are not available to all person in India. The Part 3 of the Indian Constitution gives fundamental right to people. Few rights are specifically given to citizens, whereas some are given to both citizen as well as non-citizens. The fundamental right mentioned in Article 15, 16, 19, 29 and 30 are only available to Indian citizen and not to the foreign nationals. So the rights given in citizens especially are right against discrimination, right to equal opportunity in the matter of public employment, and there is a Article 19, okay, and 29, that is protection of language, script and culture of minorities, and 30 is mentioning about the right of minorities to establish and administer the educational institution students. Okay, so other rights is available to everyone, but these are available to only Indian students. Okay, so which one of the following is not the fundamental right? A right to freedom, a right to equality, a right to property, right against exploitation. So students' right to property, initially it was a fundamental right, but now as you know it is shifted under Part 12 of Indian Constitution under Article 300 Clause A, students. Okay, so right to property is not a fundamental right. It was fundamental right under Article 19 Clause 1 subclause F, along with that students Article 31, but now it is shifted to Part 12 of Indian Constitution under Article 300 Clause A. And what you find is students, now it is a legal right, initially it was a fundamental right. Now this another statement or comment based question. Who among the following persons says that fundamental right a pledge to our people and a pact with the civilized world? Okay, so this statement is basically said by Dr. S. Radhakrishnan sir, and he says that a pledge to our people and pact with the civilized world. So as you know students, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan sir was the first Vice President of India, then he became President of India, okay, and he also awarded with the basically Bharat Ratna, okay. So this is also important, just try to remember. Now this question was in Tamil Nadu PSC 2022. Choose the correct answer. Fundamental right are or have been described as Magna Carta of India, a conscience of the Constitution, a soul of the Constitution, inspired from the Bill of Rights of the America. Students, just you have to choose the right answer carefully, otherwise you are going to commit a mistake, students, okay. So code says that 1 and 2, code says that 2 and 3, code says that 1 and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, answer not known here. Student, we can consider as the Magna Carta. Conscience is basically about the few portion, you can say this also, okay, but soul of the Constitution is basically preamble. So where you will get the option 3 is going to be incorrect, okay, and it is inspired from the Bill of Rights of American Constitution. It means that where 4 is there, it means 4th is right, so it must be there. So it is not is given in option A and E, so we will go with the answer not known here, okay. I hope you got it. So this is very simple and easy task to find the right thing. Now see the next question. Which of the following fundamental rights are only available to citizens of India? A right to equal opportunity in the matter of public employment, only available to India under Article 16. Equality before law, Article 14. Right to freedom of religion under Article 25. Right to freedom under Article 19. So students, as you know, 16 is available only to Indian. Right to freedom of religion is available to everyone, and right to freedom is under Article 19, it is only available to Indian. So we will go with the option number B, where 1 and 4 is mentioned, okay. So right to equal opportunity in the matter of public employment available to citizens of India only, okay. So this is also important, just try to remember for the same. Now see the next question, 16th question. Constitution confers which of the following article that denies the right to aliens, foreign citizens? 29 and 30, 19, 23 and 24, and 16. Article that deny right to aliens, students. It is not available to foreigners. It is only available to Indians, okay. So as you know students, there are two articles, Article 29 and 30. This is only available to Indians. Article 19, it is also available to Indians, and students, Article 16, that is basically equal opportunity in the matter of public employment, it is only available to Indians. So statement 1, statement 2 and statement 4 is correct. So once you go with it, what you find students, option B will be right answer for the same, okay. So Article 15, 16, 19, 29, 30, these only applicable to Indian, not to the foreigners, students. So this is all about the today's session, students, and as I already told you, this session is based on this book, that is Prelims Possible, and it is available not only for polity, it is available for the Indian history, it is available for geography, it is available for polity, economy and science. And as I told you already, this book is going to be very beneficial because it contains 100% error free detailed explanation, knowledge plus with the typical question, PYQ